you're going to be feeling, I'm way off from where I should be. This guy's got everything. But that's what I mean with the power of social media, because a lot of it is overlooked. A lot of the lifestyle that's presented is more of a highlight reel to our actual lives. Yo guys, welcome to the In the Cut podcast, where we keep you in the cut with our views towards the matrix of life. I'm here with the boys. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Cedric, aka Matrix, Shades, whatever you want to call me.
I'm Luke, aka Muzungu.
Yes, sir. One like this.
Yeah, we're going with this.
Say no more. I
mean, like,
this is like Rain the Great, aka Raj. You feel me? Like
Standard. I'm Phil, aka PBD, aka the Money Games. Too many AKAs to go around.
You already know me. It's not like money, aka Mr. 016. Money on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. And finally the best
Keep
for the
the
last.
last,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I go by the name Nash. The man them call me, the professor, and the gallon call me Big Papa.
Big Papa.
Tell
Let's
him.
go.
Yeah, man.
Big Papa, man.
Come on.
So guys,
Mm.
today we're going to be on the topic of mental health. One nowadays that certainly is getting more exposure as the days go by, but as men, sometimes we're guilty of not talking about it enough and not addressing it. So I feel like one good way to kick it off is under things that are overlooked in our day-to-day life that we do, say for instance our inputs and our outputs in life. And I just want to get all your opinions on what inputs and what outputs should we look for and why we should be cautious about these things.
Damn. Bro,
Just
I like that.
just
I ain't gonna lie, it's like you just brought an essay to my life, bro.
massively give me work.
Like,
Damn. Take us through, give us
take us through though.
So,
Set
for instance,
set pace for us.
our inputs could be things like the people we're following on social media, the music we're listening to, what kind of things are we reading in our day-to-day life, and our outputs can be things such as what are we speaking into existence, how are we approaching people, how are we presenting ourselves, things that are in our control. So I want to hear all your opinions. Why is this such a key thing to keep on top of in terms of our
Well,
mental health?
I mean, I'll say like once you know what you're putting out there and what's coming into your life, then you're more in line with your mind. Like you know what you're doing then. You got what I mean? If you know what's going on around you, you know what's happening with you. That's what I think.
Because one thing I feel like the power of social media nowadays is really overlooked, because a lot of people just think social media is just an app. You can't do no harm, like shares, etc. But a lot of things goes through subconsciously that we don't actually know about. So for instance, if we're following certain people and they're presenting to us this perfect lifestyle, we're not. It's gonna go under the radar, but deep down in our body, there's a part of us that's gonna be thinking, you know what, I'm way off from where I should be.
In your quest. You feel
Yeah. You're gonna be feeling, I'm way off from where I should be. This guy's got everything, but that's what I mean with the power of social media, because a lot of it is overlooked. A lot of the lifestyle that's presented is more of a highlight reel to our actual lives.
to the actual reality.
So that's one of the main inputs that we should take into consideration and be really careful with, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if I might add, I think personally, if you ask me, the inputs are just a tad bit more important than the outputs. Because if you're trying to create proper change in terms of like your mental health, your life and everything, you need to start from the inside out. You need to start with yourself. So if you put more focus on the inputs, do you know what I mean? What you're surrounding yourself with, like you were saying, what you're exposing yourself with, you know what I'm saying? The people you have around you and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? To like really level your mind, or if you're trying to build your mind, you need to start from the inside out. And then from there, once you yourself, do you know what I mean? You're at a place where you know like, okay, this is where I'm trying to be. then you start working also on your outputs to then complement the inputs. And I think that way it's got a better effect, and you can you can grow quicker and you can change things quicker if you work from the inside out. What do you lot think?
I agree.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
That's true, man, because a lot of your inputs could have an influence on your outputs.
Exactly.
Like you say, so for instance, if you were to listen to a certain type of music, you're going to dress that certain type of way, or your vocabulary and how you speak is going to be matched to that. So I agree with that.
I don't know. I think
be on your inputs first. I think you should prioritize that they're both in correlation with how important they are with one another. But I feel like inputs you should prioritize.
Yeah, I kind of feel like inputs are way more important than the outputs, because if we try and weight them right, I think like input would overweigh the outputs. Do you know what I'm saying? Because whatever you bring into your life or your mental health and everything is what's gonna generate whatever you're gonna put out. Do you know what I mean? So always is just like, that's why they say like whatever you do, don't take everything that you see or you hear. You know what I'm saying? Select certain stuff. Be selective, yeah, because then you'd know how to approach certain situations. Do you know what I'm saying? Certain situations. And I'd say like he's like a good example that I've noticed. Do you know what I mean? From him. You know what I'm saying? I've seen like you don't really take whatever comes to you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Take it all.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Somebody will come with negative and he will be so calm, like there's nothing happening. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, did you not see that? Yeah. And it's like,
and I take it personally.
And it's like,
I'm not using it personally. Bro,
that's what I'm saying. But with him, the way he will respond to the situation is completely different. Do you know what I mean? Because why? He just don't take everything in inside. Because as soon as you take that, sometimes it just can even cause you to take it out on someone who didn't even deserve it.
You know, can I just say what that is? I think with Phil, on that like prime example, I think like it's a thing where like in situations like that, it's responding to negativity with compassion. Do you know what I mean? It's responding to negativity after having a thought about it, not responding with emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like anger, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? When something happens, take it in, and instead of being reactive, be proactive.
Or say like, you know what I mean? How should I approach this situation? Exactly. And the way he's always approaching it, spot on. And I've come to like learn. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm that type of person. Well, I'm calm in certain situations, but in other situations, I react quickly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but from him, like I've come to learn like sometimes you just have to, you know, keep calm. Do you know what I'm saying? As they say, don't give promises when you're happy. Don't
make judgments when you're angry.
Don't judge anything when you're angry. You know what I'm saying? Don't there's so many don'ts. You know what I'm saying?
The book by the judge.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's like that, bro. So the outputs, the input should always be prioritized.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I think, guys, hold up. Before we even go further, I think we should emphasize why this topic of mental health needs to be spoken about and why it's so important.
Can I just
we had a few
before we move on in terms of the inputs and outputs? I just wanted to hear what everyone had to say, but I feel like, in a sense, everyone's right. I feel like there's a balance. To start off with the power of inputs. So in our dreams, when we dream, we'll see faces that we've never seen, so we think. Yeah. But these would be faces of people that would come across. It might be someone across the street. We've not physically looked at them or spoke to them, but our brain captures it, and then it comes in our dream. So with inputs, it's the same when it comes to music. So certain messages, like Luke was saying, are like hidden in music, or a certain sound could come into your head and make you dress a certain way. Or let's say you was happy And now you're hearing a song about a guy talking about he's gonna go to Brixton, shoot up some people, and now you're thinking about the people you don't like. You're like, you know that clever guy, that what's his name, David. He did me wrong. You start like the inputs are very, very powerful, but to kind of level it up, the output then balances in the sense that the things that you say to yourself or you say to people is going to affect you. So let's say, for example, someone asks you, how's your day? This happened the other day with me and Luke. He was like, how's my day? And then I was thinking, and then I thought, nah, it's amazing. Like, what am I about to like bring myself down? Like, when you're saying like you're having a good day or things are going well, things will continue to go well. But if someone goes, oh, how's your day going? You're like, do you know what? It's not going too well. Instantly, you've accepted.
Yeah, it's one of them. You know, most of us is like when a little one thing goes wrong in our lives, right? We just delete whatever good things happen in our day. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In the same day, like one little thing overshadows, one little bad things overshadows every good things. Do you know what I mean? And then you sat there thinking like, what the hell this happened?
I think the key thing
you know what I'm saying?
Control and balance. The things that we can control, we do our best to control what we're taking in, what we're putting out. The things that we can't control, when they come our way, it's how we go about dealing with them. Because with the things that we can control, for example, with the music, like this is strange. Like I have days now when I'm like, I've got loads of things to do. I would drive with no music because I'm like, I literally think I do not know how this music is going to affect my brain, my thoughts and my plans. So I'll literally be quiet, in quietness for like 10 minutes just in my brain, because I've got to a point where I'm like, there's things that I don't realize, because the mind is like, I don't know if you guys have heard this, it's like an iceberg. We control the tip. So the smallest part is what we control, whereas the big part, you're a mad guy.
Relax.
Whereas the bit that's underwater, that's the big part. That's the part that's subconscious that we don't control. And that's the thing that causes our emotions to be a certain way, our actions to be a certain way. So if we're listening to music and then that music puts things in our subconscious, it's going to mess us up differently. We might think, oh yeah, it's made me angry, but it's not just made you angry, maybe it's now made you depressed. Or maybe you're thinking, oh my days, 50 Cent talking about how he's got all these houses and things. Jeez, why don't I have houses and girls?
That's what I think, and that's why most of the times I just try to tell myself. A lot of times I tell myself, you know what? Yes, there's these influences online, right? They influence you with whatever they got, right? But at the same time, you need to look at yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone in the world, I kind of feel like we're all in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? I've said this before, and I'm gonna just repeat it again. We're all in the middle. No one is below, and no one is above. Do you know what I'm saying? Which means, if I've got something, there's always someone on top of me who's got more than me, and someone below me who's got less than me. And that one below me is the same thing. They're in the middle. And that one on top of me, same thing. So which means whatever at the end of one another end is God. I mean, God is into like both ends. I'm saying, and we all in the middle. So what I mean, like, if we start like trying to depress ourselves about material stuff, about next person that we saw online, you don't know how hard they worked. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you should just consider what blessings you've got right in there. Do you know what I mean? Right where you are. Like, what makes you you? Do you know what I mean? What brings you that joy? Do you get me? Like, that person might have cars, houses and stuff, but they don't maybe have the most important people you've got in your life. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? That person might have all of that, but they ain't happy. And you hear like happy every single day. You know what I'm saying? So if you count your blessings, it helps you to overcome whatever is gonna put you in a depression mode.
If you water your own garden, you don't have to worry about whether the grass is green on someone else.
100%, yeah.
Someone else's garden.
And
focus.
I've also heard I saw the video online. This guy explaining what is a depression. So basically, it's more like a deep rest.
Wait a minute.
You're gonna need to
Hold on,
explain
trust me,
more
hold
about
on.
hearing it.
Deep
Depression.
rest. Yeah.
Rest.
Deep
Talk to me.
deep rest. Do you know what I'm saying? So basically, sometimes you just need to sit back and just have a deep rest from every single thing around you. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you don't rest your body, your mind, do you know what I'm saying, or analyze certain things around you, you're obviously gonna get into a depression because that your body needs that.
It's basically
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. It just shut itself down because it's like, you know what? You feed me so much. Now I need to.
It's too much.
You know what I'm saying?
To answer your point as well, some people like
Yeah. So we need a deep rest.
That's mad because I just got depressed.
Yeah, deep rest. Yeah.
Madness.
Do you know what I mean?
And people need to, I think Luke said this in the past as well, people need to stop comparing their level 10 to someone's level 100.
Facts, yes.
Because it's like, people will be like, okay, maybe to go a bit deeper, let's say you go to school with someone, you're the same age, so you're seeing them do very well, so you're like, oh, I should be there. We don't know how long we have in this world. You could live till you're 100. This person could live till they're 40.
Yeah.
They might have then done so much in this little space of time, and you're there being jealous. But you're gonna live longer.
Yeah.
And like in that time you have, you can probably do the same, if not more. But people don't think about it that way. They just think, oh, they're doing better. Like we're all gonna live the same life, the same amount. But it's not like that.
It's not like that. It's not like that. So basically, sometimes we just need to, you know, calm. Do you know what I'm saying? Just calm down
It's
and.
true, man. You've got to focus on your own journey because a lot.
Go on, Big Papa.
No, because I know that this conversation is going to grow and mature into different other conversations. Before we then get to that point, I want to touch on why we need to present this topic and the importance and the urgency around it that people need to speak about it. We put down a few points that we're going to present, just quick stats and figures to give you guys a rough idea of how big and major the topic is, especially in this day and age, because people talk about it enough, but people our age, especially male, especially the male, you know what I mean, the guys, it's not addressed enough. It's not addressed enough. And with that being said, I hand it over to Mzungu. Mzungu, take us through, man. Just a little quick 1, 2, 1, 2. You know what I'm saying?
1 in 4 will experience a mental health problem of some kind in each year in England.
Before we go on, 1 in 4. 1 in 4. That's a whole quarter.
That's mad.
25%.
How many people are there?
That's a very big
66
number.
million? Quick maths. What's a quarter of
I don't do maths.
Half 33, half
I failed.
16.5 million.
Obviously got someone that passed maths.
16.5.
16.5, yeah.
16.5.
Yeah, because 16 times
So
2
it's a
32,
quarter of
yeah.
16.5.
No, a quarter is
Quarter,
16.5.
66 million.
16.5, yeah, million.
66. Right, yeah.
And that's each year, just in the UK.
That's mind blowing when you think
Bro,
about it.
when you actually really put it in perspective.
Imagine a classroom, it's 30 people.
Yeah. And 4, and
1 in 4.
yeah, 1 in 4
That's
of
like
those
7
30
of them.
people will go through mental health problems. Do you know what I mean? And that's each year. Go on.
1 in 6 people report experiencing mental health problem like anxiety and depression in any given week in England.
No, that's a week.
1 in 6 in a week.
Look at the difference between a year and a week, and the only you know what I'm saying, the only difference between that that time parameter is only 2. 1 in 4 to 1 in 6, and that's a year. From a week to a year. Imagine.
I think when it comes to mental health, especially with males anyways, I feel like a lot is the pressure. like us as males get. Like,
No. Sorry, but I'd say.
hello.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Where are we going?
Go on.
But nah, like I feel like a lot of it is the pressure we got, or even the way we was raised. Mostly like when you was raised, a lot of times maybe you've been like something happened and you started crying, and you've just heard that one person that's always told you, "Oh, don't cry. Big men don't cry."
And that was one
You
thing
understand?
I was going to
Small things
touch
like
up on.
Like,
Interrupter.
Wait.
One thing I was going to touch up on is toxic masculinity.
Hello.
Which Cedric is elaborating.
So like things like that, when you get to it, you just grow up in your mind. You're set. Like I'm not meant to show my downs. I'm not meant to show my emotions. I'm not meant to tell anybody when I'm going through anything. And also another thing that brings depression or anxiety and whatever is the pressure we as males have to then show up in the community and have this certain like level of success. So it's got all the younger males thinking, oh, I want to get to that. And they're comparing, because the thing is they're not satisfied with what they've got so far. So they compare themselves to people who are 30, 40, people who've gone through all this, had so much life experience. And then when you compare, you just start getting depressed naturally. And then when you don't talk about it,
Yeah. You done?
Okay.
go on, Jesus, take it.
This time I had to
Just
ask, bro.
take it.
But honestly, what I was gonna say is like that's a good point you just gave. But to be honest with you, like I feel like male in general, we get through all that phases only because basically we're not meant to express ourselves, to show emotions and stuff, right? Because
we're not meant to,
but we have to.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? We need to.
Yeah,
But they say like, basically like if you show your emotions, you're not a man enough.
That's what I mean.
You feel
That's
me?
what a lot of people say.
You-
Toxic
Do you
masculinity.
know what I'm saying?
Wait.
And they say like, yeah, and
let me sit up.
and basically it's more like I cannot I cannot like talk about what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? With my maybe partner or any other person, because why they will criticize me. You know what I'm saying? I will get bullied, you know, because of what I'm going through, because they think like I'm a man enough to handle whatever comes to me. Do you know what I'm saying? In that term, then it puts me in a position where, you know what, whatever happening to me, I'm gonna try and solve it. You know what I'm saying? If I cannot solve it, I'm gonna keep it here. You know what I'm saying? And then and then with that, here comes a pressure, here comes a depression, because you're not giving yourself a deep rest from whatever happening around you, right? Anxiety of doing whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? And then you're like, I don't know how people are gonna react if I do this or that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
all of that power.
all of that on you. Then that's where it gets to what thinking about suicide and all that type of shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, you know, like when we come into this world, how I look at it, we're playing canvas. You get what I mean? It's like art. You're playing canvas. You come in, you don't know nothing. You're a baby.
Playing Converse.
Plain.
Canvas.
Plain.
I guess it's playing Converse as an English is hard. I don't know what that means.
Bro, so like,
sorry, bro.
so you guys just love interrupting me. It's cool. It's cool. But no, so like when you're like a baby, you don't know nothing. And I feel like for men to come out and be like, I'm not meant to show emotion, it's not how we was like. We didn't come in the world saying you're not meant to show emotion. It's just because society has made it so hard for men to then show emotion and talk about what they're going through.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, it's a thing where like, yes,
Definitely is. It's a society thing. How you know we've built up a society where men are meant to be the breadwinners. Men are meant to be the tough ones. You know what I'm saying? If there's a problem, a man should solve it. If there's a spider, a man should kill it. Not this one. Not this one. Trust me, that's like, yo, that's you, bro.
Bro, this
Nah,
dickhead
but-
the other week chased with a spider. I unlocked the door from outside.
Nah, it's okay to be scared of spiders, you know what I mean? But anyway, like a rough analogy, like for example, if like there's like a lion coming, you know what I'm saying? It's like okay, a man is supposed to, you know, stand guard whilst the woman's behind you, so that, you know, he can eat me first and get full. It should be fine. Do you know what I mean?
I want to touch up on that.
Yeah, go on.
So,
No, go on.
Hold on. I'm not finished. 2 minutes. So yeah, it's a thing where like, yeah, we've now meant to be like these tough, you know what I'm saying? Like the people who take care of everyone. And no matter what we're feeling is not that important as long as everyone else is fine. And that's I think that's where the problem lays. We're like, okay, cool, yeah, we can like provide, we can take care, you know what I'm saying, we can be strong for everyone, but also what we feel is also important, because just like everyone else, we're also human. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like everyone else, we also experience the same problems. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the main thing, is trying to not rewrite but change the way society looks at, you know, how men should be. Because time is changing, bro. You know what I mean? Back in the day, I think that's where it's done from. Back in the day, do you know what I mean? Where like men were doing everything, and then, you know, the women were just at home, you know, like taking care of the children, whatever. And, you know, they had to be the leaders of the house. It's just a natural. I wouldn't say natural. Do you think it's natural? Actually, now that I think about it.
that's what I'm going to get into.
Now that I think about it.
The subconscious.
It's a subconscious thing. But yeah, as times change, I think we need to change with the times and realize that it doesn't have to be like that. Do you know what I mean? And how it's affecting, you know, men as in general is quite big when you think about it. Do you know what I mean? But on the natural thing, let me hear what you're saying, because something just clicked in my head, Bob.
Right. So everything that happens in this world is for a reason, whether it's the government, whether it's the people behind the government. Now, if you want to make a nation weak, you need to make the men in that nation weak so you can conquer it, right? So when people were created,
Forgive me.
obviously, like if we go back to caveman days, you have the man, you have the woman. The woman is a gatherer. She's going to go get the berries. The man is going to go hunt. He's going to go chase that lion down. You know what I mean?
Winter, man.
Yeah.
I was literally going to go winter.
So now what's happened, because for whatever reason, they're trying to take over like the West, the UK, America. Men are slowly being weakened by the pushing agendas where it's like, woman of power. There's nothing wrong about women feeling empowered within themselves, but when you look at the genetic makeup of a man and the genetic makeup of a woman, a man is stronger. But the fact that they're trying to push women to be like, no, you can be like a man, genetically you cannot. You can feel that way, but genetically you can't. But in them doing that, it's then bringing men down, because they have whatever agendas they have. This then plays into the subconscious of men. Then you have men that are feeling suicidal because they don't feel like they're keeping up to what they should be doing. They're like, oh, the woman is doing all this. The woman is doing all this because she's been empowered and told that she's the same as a man. And the society is just messed up the frequency of things. So I feel like men are getting depressed because they're kind of being suppressed. So as a man, you want to, you know, provide, you want to, you know, protect, and you want, you know, relations with women. That's just what's built within us. But like the way society is now built, it's suppressing certain things. And when those things are suppressed and then you're judged for certain things, men can't truly be themselves. Now it's like, they're like,
You know what?
Exactly.
To add on to that as well.
So you're
Think
not
about
gonna
it.
know it.
When we're in school and we're students, and obviously usually it's the guys that mess about.
Mm.
But when a guy messes about, what are they told? They're told to be like the role model students, and the role model students are always the girls.
Mm.
So when guys mess about, it's like, why are you doing that? Why don't you be like her instead?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously guys are then, obviously there's nothing wrong with like looking up to women as such,
Mm.
but it's a case of men are sort of neglecting their male traits, as you were saying, and they're adapting more female traits, and then men are no longer men anymore, and then women are trying to be men to fill that kind of gap.
Oh, no.
It's messy society. Women
It's
are
a
trying
generational
to take
thing
the
as
men
well.
role, and then men are being growing up taking the female traits, and it's kind of
That's why
opening
men
up society.
weren't depressed in the
You know,
past
yes.
because they were more in the role. Because they would be like, I'm gonna go to work, provide for the family. My wife's at home, she's cooking. Now, man goes to work, comes home, wife is yapping. There's no
And you're
food.
like, go-
She's like,
go cook yourself,
can you
rubbish.
cook take away? Man's like, huh? But it's all, it's messed, man.
Hold on.
It's just,
Come on.
So
Go on, mate.
basically, I'm gonna touch on that. Innit? So you already mentioned my whole early man thing, bro.
great minds think alike.
You know,
You
but
already-
there's a thing where I'm very supportive when it comes empower the women and everything. I'm very like,
Yeah.
I love it, I understand it, but then to me personally, I'm like, I wouldn't mind if my wife is out there making more than me, as long as she has to remember that in a way there's things she can do I can't do, and the same with me. Like there's things I can do she can't do. You get what I mean? Like if we were gonna say renovate the house, I wouldn't expect her to be lifting all the big heavy stuff. You get what I mean? I'll be doing that, and it's more about people they confuse the word gentleman, you know, and like just being, you know, like a macho man, I would say. You get what I mean? Like gentleman is where you help people around you, not necessarily women, but anybody around you, you know, like to your capabilities, you know, like not go over what you can do. But I feel like society's made it where a man has to do a lot more than he can actually do. Sometimes they think, bro, you're a machine, bro. They'll expect you to go work, come home, be happy from a 9 to 5. Come home, be happy, play with the kids, like satisfy your wife or your partner if you have one, and then chill with your friends, do all that. And they don't see like all that weighs down on you, you know. There's a time where sometimes the people around you have to help, no matter how much you're doing for yourself or for them. People around you have to help, whether it be maybe help you by, let's say, oh, my car needs a clean, say wash your car, you know, maybe cook for you and stuff like that, you know. That naturally will help somebody who has got a mental health issue to relax a little bit and take time for their mental health, you know. And I feel like
TLC too, you know what I'm saying?
And I feel like, obviously, with it getting there, every man is like, I want to be better than the other man. I want to be better than him because he does a lot more, you know. So let's say, Raj, you're doing a lot more than me. And like people I chill around are always making you the example that you should be for me. Everybody's like, you should be like Raj. Look, Raj has accomplished this. But people don't know that's not my capability. Like, you've got your own powers, I've got mine. Like, let's say
You're a fish, is a bird.
you get what I mean? I could be, like, there's things I can do, you can do. There's things you can do, I can do. But society has really tried so hard to make every man look the same. And it's not possible. It's not possible. We're not all from the same flesh, and we don't all have the same genetics. It can't work like that.
Sorry, go on, you're gonna say something. I'll go after you.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say like men. What we really need, like, to put us out in all these situations, depressions, anxiety, and whatever, is to actually be appreciated.
TLC.
You know what I'm saying?
Get some
Be
TLC.
appreciated.
Yeah,
Appreciated.
yeah. At the end of the
That's
day.
basically it.
Yeah.
Because no matter if we do good, it's never enough. If we don't do anything,
You're a
It's
bum.
worse.
you're
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
You're a
so
bum, man.
basically, you're always there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're always there. But even if I did something and I got tired and I rested, just appreciate what I did. You know what I mean? Come to me and say, you know what? You actually did great. You know what I mean? That will empower me to even do more. You know what I mean?
And you know what?
It will lift me
That
up.
leads me on to the next thing.
Hold on, before we go
Do
on.
you-
Before we
go
go
on.
on. Yeah.
Do your thing.
Do you know what I mean?
I just been thinking about what Phil says. So obviously, we're just trying to show this from like different perspectives of like what might be the cause of all of this. And you know, you were saying like with naturally how the genetic makeup of a male is. We are basically animals, right? But we've just become to be very sophisticated, huh?
Too late.
No, like we've just come to be very sophisticated animals. Do you know what I mean? Like really and truly, we're a species.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in different species,
The male is always the leader of the pack. The male is always the provider, the one that hunts. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's a natural thing within us as well as a different species. Do you know what I mean? To be that the leader, the hunter. You know what I'm saying? The protector. It's natural, but also we now have to come to understand that listen, we're not just like normal animals. You know what I'm saying? Like a normal species, like a lion or something. We're now very sophisticated. Do you know what I mean? And with that needs to come with its changes. Do you know what I'm saying? And we can't just be just the hunter, the protector, and you know what I'm saying, and that's it. And like no matter what we do, like Raj said, it's never enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
If it's not broken, don't fix it. Because when you look at animals,
No, but it is broken though.
It is broken.
It is broken because we're not like them. You know what I'm saying? They can just live like that. Animals have like a basic life. We have like a free will. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's
so do they. Animals can
Yeah,
go
but,
No, but
let
like-
me tell you the truth.
No.
Phil.
hold on. Let me just try to get this point out. Like, what makes us different from like a dog?
Uh,
Do
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That ability, that ability that we now have, is it free will that separates us? What is it? I think it's free will.
Yeah.
Or there's a word, but I can't find a word to explain it properly. But the reason why we've got to the point that we're where we are now is because of that. Do you know what I mean? So we can't now then act like the dogs or like the normal species. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we are now completely different. Do you know what I'm saying?
We now face depression and all these things, but when you look at animals, they will never face that.
Yeah,
because
but-
they have a hierarchy that's always been the
Yeah,
same.
but Phil, let me tell you the truth. Animals, they're all built the same. Most
And
of them.
we're animals.
You got what I mean? But when it comes to us as humans, we are animals, but we're not like, four-legged animals. You got what I mean? Like, the truth is, like,
frame.
if you look at it, us in this world, men are more whatever, all this, physically stronger and all this. But think about it. I'm pretty sure all y'all go to the gym, right? I'm pretty sure you've seen girls that have way better form than some of the biggest man them in the gym. You get what I mean? When it is true. It is true. Like, it's not a lie. No, you get what I mean? There's definitely some girls there that have better form than other men. They might not be stronger, but they have the best form. You get what I mean? So, like, you have to understand that some of the women can actually have the capability to do some things men can do, and they have to be allowed to do that thing so that some of the men can actually relax. You get what I mean? Because when you look at the guys that are mostly depressed, I'm not saying normally always them, but it's always the guys that have a woman as their example. Do you get what I mean? Like, the guys that look at, let's say people are talking to you and they always say, oh, look at your sister, she's done this, she's done that. Those, mostly, it's always those guys that are really depressed, because it's just a thing where he starts comparing, like, oh, it's a woman, I'm a guy. Why is she doing more than me? You get what I mean? But people have to understand that it can be that. You get what I mean? You don't have to worry about that. Because like I said, we don't all have the same capabilities. You get what I mean? You just have to accept that you're not like that guy or that girl. You get what I mean? You're just you.
This is where it's like, right, if we step back to the point where we're like animals, it's like, imagine the foundations of animals. It's just like a skyscraper. We've had levels on levels and levels. The foundations are still the same, but through these different levels, it's like clouded our judgment. Like, let's go in the animal world. You have the pack leader, freaking Mufasa or Simba. And then you have the other one that's not as big as this one, but it wants to be this one. It wants to get the girls that this one is getting.
You have trapped yourself. You played yourself, boy.
No, wait.
No, he just trapped himself.
No, let me see. So, like with the animal world, yes, there's always going to be an animal that's here and an animal that wants to be where this animal is. But this animal just has to understand, obviously, if it wants to get there, there's only one or two ways to do it. You have to try to take this one off there, or do the work to make sure that you can get to that level. But when it comes to reality, some people, it's like you tell yourself, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then obviously you get into depression. But like, let's say, like what was said with the whole levels, like someone will compare their level 10 to someone's level 100, but the person that's on level 100, like Raj said, you don't know the work that they put into. Yeah. But because people are always seeing so many things on social media, they then put it into their heads that, oh, they're not having this life, they're not where they should be, and they become depressed. But at the end of the day, it's, if you want that, take a step back, see what you need to do, or how hard you need to work to potentially get there, rather than see it and be like,
but yeah, Phil, when it comes, give me a sec. When it comes to like mental health, it's not like working out. You get what I mean? When you're working out for a sport or something else like work or whatever, yeah, you can do that where you look at the person at the top and you're like, I'm gonna put in the work and get there. But to mental health, it's not like you can actually put in work to completely get your mind, you get what I mean? It's more about the people around you. It's more about who is around you and how they're helping you. Because personally, if you're depressed and like you're down moods all the time, it's not something you can really get yourself out of by yourself. You get what I mean? So it's not like I can look at the other guy, oh, he is not depressed. Actually, I need to take him off that radar. I need to stop being depressed. You know what I mean? It can't work like that when it comes to mental health. You know what I mean?
Find yourself though.
Order in court.
Disrespecting me. So,
It's got a point to me.
From China. Said that.
I don't like apples. I don't know. I'm just wondering. But you know what? Obviously, before we get too carried away,
On ourselves, obviously we're predominantly male. You know what I'm saying? Here, we also need to touch on our females. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's not only us, that suffer these problems. Even though it is mainly male, it is more male than female, but it's also females too. You know what I'm saying? And to our female audience, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. But before we just do the little skirt, you. Hold on. Come here.
We'll slap you now.
Hold on. Can I finish him now? Can I finish him? I'll finish him, no problem. Okay. Nah, you said something that was very vital. You said foundation, right? You said the foundation has always been the same. And some animals are here, but we have now. Do you know what I'm saying? The foundation for a house is very different to the foundation of a skyscraper, should I say. Is it not? So for normal animals, the foundation cannot be, for normal animals, the foundation is calm. Do you know what I mean? You can build upon it, but to a certain level. Do you know what I mean? But the foundation cannot stay the same if you're now building further upon that. If you're now building a bigger building, a bigger skyscraper, the foundation will need some tweaking. Do you know what I'm saying? It will need some improvement. It will need some change. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the change we're now trying to say, like, listen, we're not just like normal species no more. As we're building upon that, we also need to adjust our foundation to the levels that we're getting to.
Do you know what I mean?
That comes with problems. Seeing them. So, right.
He's an old school male,
wait,
bro.
so
This
when
is-
so it's not
Crazy
it's
debate
not
this.
right. So it's not the fact that I'm an old school male. It's just I've looked at it at both sides. I've been on the side where it's like, you feel like everything's going against you, and then I got to a point where I was like, right, okay. Once I came out of that, I realized I was in that because obviously I didn't understand what it is that's making me feel like that, which is the same for most people. But then once you realize it's because one, you're probably not doing something you're passionate about, or two, you're probably not being allowed to be who you are. When you start to become more of who you are, when you find what it is you like doing, you start to realize, okay, that's probably what was keeping me there. And also lack of knowledge. Like, for example, some people might get depressed because they're like, I've got this bill, the worst things are going to happen. And obviously depression comes. But when you have knowledge in the sense of, okay, you know that if this isn't sorted, within your rights, you can do this, this, and this to get it sorted. You become calmer because you have knowledge. So I feel like depression is coming from one, lack of knowledge, people not necessarily knowing what the passions are, and three, not knowing how to be the best versions of themselves, because maybe they grew up in a situation where they were pushed down. It's like, you can't be this, you can't be this.
You know, like with me, do you want to go first?
No, because I was going to move it forward.
All right.
Before I do that.
Like with me, I feel like I'll argue with you on that point. It's not about not knowing how to get better or whatever. It's like I said before, it's all on society. Because if you look at us male require females to be a certain way. Like if you look, you ask the generation coming up, what do you like a girl to look like? Oh, she should have such and such a body, such and such a look. And you know, and you look at the girls, you ask them, what do you want your male to be like? Ooh, should have such and such arms, so full beard, whatever, all this, you get what I mean? And that is where it starts. You get what I mean? It starts from the youngers saying like, sorry bro. Oh no. My bad.
At least you could have said the.
Nah, but so when people say that, like, females are working towards trying to look better for the males, and the males are working to try and be better for the females. You get what I mean? And depression starts from there. Obviously, we won't forget the other natural factors like bills or this and that. But
wait, before you mentioned man and woman, if a man is
I
fat,
love this.
if a man is fat, if a man is fat, what are they seen as? Like, how will girls talk about that man? How will guys talk about a man if a man is fat?
yeah, people call him out.
Yeah, but if a woman is fat, you try to say she's fat.
It's a problem.
Yeah, listen. No, it's a problem. It's a problem. But either way, both ways is still being done. You get what I mean? It's not like people are
equal.
No,
It's never equal.
it's never equal.
It will
It's
never
never
be.
equal.
It will never be.
It's never equal. But we have to.
Here, you get smacked by a woman, right? Very bad. You try and hear her bad,
It's a madness, bro. You're gonna get
you're in trouble,
you're in jail.
right?
Not even more the same level.
You know what I'm saying? Because now they say she hits you here, just turn the other cheek.
Yeah, it's another cheek.
Just because you gotta do shit.
You know,
Oh my
Do you
Chris
know
Rock,
how
what do you
many
mean?
times-
Dude?
Do you know how many times I've been to a club yet, and girls just slap the fuck out my ass?
Wait, what?
Girls slap my ass, girls grab onto me. What are you doing?
He
out
didn't
here?
see that.
But imagine if it was the other way round.
The other way around,
You get kicked out.
In the workplace,
bro. He will
If you told the bouncer, the
Yes.
bouncer will be like,
by not
got
even
that
by the
number.
bouncers,
Everyone.
by the people just around.
Yeah.
you.
But this is what I mean, though. Like depression comes from things like that, like
society.
society, not actually accepting people for who they are and trying to set a standard for them and not letting everybody set their own standard. You get what I mean? I think that's
There's
why.
always,
It's
there's
rigged.
always not a male's side of the story. If it's a male and female involved, it's always a
What Phil
female
was
side of the
saying,
story.
yeah?
That's it, done.
About not knowing, I agree with that because sometimes in society, toxic masculinity is a big thing. I don't agree with it all. A lot of people, they go way over the top with it, but there are certain parts of it that are true. So, for instance, men don't cry. In the physical side, say if I fell over and grazed my knee, I'm not gonna pour my eyes out because my knee's bleeding. So that bit, I can agree to it to some extent. However, it's the emotional side. It's really vague with how they put it. Men don't cry because there's an emotional side to it that people don't really talk about that much. And what you were saying with one of the causes for depression that people don't know, I agree with that because sometimes, as men, we're told men don't cry. So when men do get in that position, they're instantly trying to not cry anymore because men don't cry. So they're instantly trying to get rid of that. But sometimes when you're in a position like that, sometimes that's the perfect situations where all your problems are in your face. They're all tearing you apart and you can feel like a piece of shit. Not even a piece of shit, but that can be fertilized. We're talking a bottle cap. Disposable, do you know what I mean? You feel like
I say disposable,
you know what I mean? Like you feel bad, and like Phil was saying, you don't know.
Damn.
That's true because when you feel bad, your problems they're right in your face, tearing you apart. You feel negligible, and that's the perfect opportunity to. For me, when I get in them situation, I go through my day-to-day life, and at any point where I'm going through my day-to-day life where I feel something inside me breaking up or tearing apart, that's a case of, okay, that's one of the problems as to why I feel this way. Okay, let me go through it a bit more. How do I arrive? What kind of front do I put forward, etc., etc. And I go in detail with it until I get to a point where, boom, that's how the first domino fell, and that is one of the causes. And I go through my day-to-day life until I found all of them first dominoes that are knocking it all down. And then it's a case of, okay, I know what it is, and now it's a case of, what's the cause for these problems as to why I'm feeling this way? How and why did it become such a bad habit? What are the consequences of it? And what a set of core values and principles can I set in order for me to not do that problem again? Because a lot
It's
of the
not
problems,
easier said than done, though.
a lot of the problems
keep thinking
nowadays,
about spiders,
this is
bro.
what works for me. I'm not a professor, I'm not a mentor,
I know.
I'm not a therapist, but this is just what works for me. So because a lot of the problems nowadays are down to temptation. So when you've got a set of core values and principles against that, as soon as it comes, you already know like how to go against it. Whereas sometimes when you get upset, men don't cry. So sometimes when you get upset and it's a case of, men don't cry, let me get back to normal, it can be a situation gone to waste because then problems that were right in your face, they've gone now, and they can sneak back up on you,
You know what?
straight
Yeah,
away.
go on.
I wanted to take you to this so that we can provide a broad view on this topic.
I was gonna say I think like this topic should be we should do like a part 2 of it, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
with a female point of view.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
the
That's
podcast.
we will. And it's been said right here in the car.
Let's not
Yeah.
make anyone's
So
daughter
we
cry
can-
though.
We can now balance, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
sounds
a heavy,
very-
it's a heavy.
There's one thing us saying big up to the females, they do this and that,
It's
but
way
it's a different
very
way.
much
but then we want to know,
from
we
that
want to
perspective.
hear like what can they say about this?
Yeah.
What's their point of view towards this whole thing? You know what I'm saying? Because right here, right now,
It'll be a lot
we're
different.
just giving our
Our
own
side.
views, our side
Yeah.
of the story, because we all males. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if a female steps in, right, and see how we can actually understand more about this mental health thing towards
Towards
Men.
females.
towards men and females in general.
Also, so then with that being said,
I've got one more stat that I want to put forward, to move it to where like we can understand the
product of mental health issues.
what it can lead to. And I apologize for jumping straight to the deep end, but you know what I mean, it needs to be said. So I read up that 1 in 5 people have suicidal thoughts. 1 in 5 people will have suicidal thoughts, and out of that 1 in 5, 90% of those suicidal thoughts will come from people that have mental health problems. 90%. And it shows like to what extent, like what full-on extent, you know, having these problems mentally and not dealing with them, not addressing them and not standing up to them, you know, what, you know, it can very quickly lead to, which is something very, you know, dangerous.
Can give you that.
And
Uni can give you that.
Bro.
I'm not even gonna cut, bro.
I think it's important that people that are going through that, they, one, talk to someone, and even after talking to someone, write down what it is that's making them feel that way. Because like I said before, some people, it might be bills, some people it could be uni stress, some people it could be girl problems. And once you write down these things, then ask yourself, are these things worth dying for? Is there a way to solve these things? If it's a girl that's stressing you out, is she even the right girl for you? Should you just move somewhere else? If it's uni, maybe can you go to a professor, talk to them, maybe they'll give you a bit more time. If it's bills, can you, I don't know, contact the companies, let them know your situation and they give you leeway. People need to be able to write down to find out so they can see that the problems are not as big as they think in their heads. They can actually be made smaller. 100%. And I feel like that will fix a lot of problems.
For me, I just started doing that in lockdown. From the very first lockdown, obviously when gyms shut, I got to a point where like I'd work at Tesco and then I'd go home, shut my blinds and just play Xbox. And then deep down in my head it was like, this is gonna be a habit, you know. So
I was using food, bro.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So obviously I started going to my journals, writing down exactly how I'm feeling, the good things, the bad things, my exact situation, everything, Tesco, gym, whatever. And then when you do that, obviously it takes the weight of it all from your head onto the paper, because we all know you can overthink. I saw a diagram the other day on Instagram about overthinking, and it was a straight line, and eventually bent, and eventually it's just tiny bends each time to the point of where it's just going straight down. Because when you overthink the overthink, and then you overthink that, and it's just a cycle of overthinking. So when you put that into a journal, it helps you better see that sometimes your problems aren't as deep as you actually think they are. You can keep overthinking in your head, but when you write it down and then you read it back to yourself, it's like, oh, that's not that bad. Why don't I just think of doing this instead? And also when you're journaling, you can look back at that in a few months, because I love to do this. You look back at it in a few months and it helps you to see whether you're on track for pursuing your goals and the best version of yourself, or you're going down. So when I do it, I'll write about gym, I'll write about Tesco, I'll write about barbering, me as myself, and other things I like to pursue, and exactly how they're going. And then within a few months' time, I'll look back at that and think, okay, I've fallen off a bit on that, I'm improving on this, because sometimes we can have bad habits in our head and think, hey, I shouldn't be doing this, but you still do it anyway. And then a few months down the line, you think, I shouldn't be doing this, but you keep doing it, and before you know it, it's become a bad habit, and the whole time you thought, I'm going to stop it tomorrow anyway. Whereas sometimes when you've written it down on a journal, and then you look back at it a few months later, it's a case of, oh, I've fallen off on that, and I said I was going to repair it, and I'm here looking like a bum, not repairing it, so let me jump on it. And that really helped me, because like I say, when it's on your mind and then it becomes a habit and you're not aware of it, then that's when it can beat you up to a point where a year down the line you think, oh, I said I'd repair that. What position could I have been in with this if I'd have just done this in the past? And then that's when regret starts to lead in, isolation, maybe even suicidal thoughts. So that's one thing.
I kind of feel like now that he just said like the way he overcomes his depressions and stuff, right? I think we should all like give an example of how we overcome them, right? Or how we deal with them, right? So maybe someone out there can relate, who can relate, they can have an idea of how they can get out in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Can I start?
Do you want me to start?
He's already started.
I was already on the first one. Yeah, but I'll finish the first one.
Yeah, go on, finish.
So the next thing that helped me, like I was saying before, when I finished school, I was the opposite. If you've seen pictures, you know what I was like. Yeah. So, one thing for me that helped was getting out there in the gym. Obviously, when you start, it's hard. You don't know, and the treadmill, the cardio is your best friend. You walk in there and think everyone's looking at me. Let me jump on a treadmill, etc. So I was going once every 2 weeks, and then it got to a point where I was like, you know what, this is a bit lazy. Let me start going 6-7 days a week, non-stop. Just keep doing it. And reasons why the gym helped me is because it gives you a lot of lessons in the gym that you can take out into life. Say, I think I've probably gone over it in past episodes, but one time I was doing a heavy weight, I had my earphones in, and I let out ugly grunts, realised no one was watching me, and I was like, oh, cool. No one's paying attention to me. Take that into life. Another thing, when you're in the gym, you focus on your own form. You're looking at other people's form, fair enough, you can take notes from it, but if you're watching what everyone else is doing, then you're not going to thrive yourself. So when you focus on your own form, get everything right, you don't care what you look like, then that's when you grow best. And then you can, okay, I can take that now into life and focus on the things that I'm trying to pursue in my life. And there's a lot of other things, but one of the main things about gym is the gains you get up here. It's not about any of this that you get from the gym. It's all about up here, because it tests your character when you're knackered on the treadmill, when you're knackered doing your cardio, when you're knackered doing your weights, and you've still got a few more sets left. That's when the character muscle inside you, that's when you're building that. And then when you build that character muscle inside of you with your confidence, that's when you can take that out into life and pursue everything you want in life, because now your character's building and you know that you can take colossal tasks on when you're facing big weights. So gym helped me a lot, journaling, and also the people you have around you as well. That's another big thing, because we all know we need people to talk to. I'm not going to go too in depth because we've all got to talk. So.
Yeah. I just want to say something.
What you said as well about not sticking to your lane and just focusing on what you're doing. I think you touched on that as well, saying yo, listen, once you're flowering your own garden, you don't care about how green the grass is. You know what I'm saying? Your neighbours is. So it's like that example. Why do horses wear blinkers?
You know what I'm saying?
To stay focused
on their own race, and they don't look at other horses. Because once they start looking at other horses, they start slacking upon their own performance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's important to all have our own form of blinkers in our own lives. Do you know what I mean? Just to add to what you said, I just thought I'd put that in. But me,
the way I deal with mental health, I've got layers. You know what I'm saying? Like my approach to it is like an onion. There's different layers to it, but mainly the biggest thing that I say, and I'll always say this, and I think Raj, you said it as well. I tend to get overwhelmed quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like I tend to I overthink as well. Do you know what I mean? And because I'm trying to do so many things, I'm trying to reach certain levels, it can all pretty much get to me, especially when things are not working. That's when things are the worst. And we always say here, and we can't stress it enough, when you're trying to do things like this, do things a step at a time. Take things a day at a time. You see a big goal broken down into little targets, you will find that you will get to the goal much quicker, and you find that you get to that goal intact. Like we were saying here before, if you're trying to build a wall, a big brick wall, start with one brick. Do you know what I mean? Lay down that brick as perfectly as you can before you move to the next one. And then before you know it, your wall will be up. Do you know what I mean? That's one way I try to deal with it. The other is setting goals. Setting goals, because for me, I look at it this way. Like I was saying before to these guys, I don't like dwelling upon I could'ves. I don't like regret. I don't like dwelling upon I wish, because I wish does not help my language. It doesn't help fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Because listen, things have happened. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. All it's gonna do is eat you up. And the more it eats you up, the more, you start to fall into a state of depression and all these things. So I'd like to dwell upon things I have control upon. So that's my now, stay in my present. If I can control my now, I can control what I say now, I can control what I do now, I can control what I think. Yeah, that's very important to me. And in terms of my future, I can plan for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's still a level of control for my future. I can control my now, but my past, all I can do is look back at it, you know what I'm saying, try to learn from it. But things I can't control or I can't, you know, I don't like to do upon it. Things I can't influence. That's one way. Sorry, I'm going. I told you there's like layers to this, because man's been through a lot in life, so man just had to learn these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? And like what Luke said before, like in terms of gym, I just want to add upon that as well, because that also worked for me. So when my mom passed away, the world just did not seem the same no more. As in, like, bro, I was lost. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing or what my purpose, why I was still here. Do you know what I mean? And gym did help me a lot in terms of, like, if things just don't seem to add up, you know, you're in your head all the time and you don't know where you're going, just try to occupy yourself with something. Even for a certain amount of day, you know what I'm saying, to just take your mind off that and just to refresh. Do you know what I mean? And that's what gym did for me. That's why I started gym personally, like properly going. Like I'll just go in gym and it will give me a chance to do something that would take my mind off what was happening in my actual life. You know what I'm saying? Gym was like a different reality to me compared to my actual reality. So on the same page of refreshing, I think it's also good that, like, for example, like once you've had a long week, like, you know, you've been working, you've been doing whatever you're doing, it's also good to just refresh. Have like one day where, you know, you go out for a walk or something, you get some fresh air, you know, you see different scenes, you do something different, you do something to just calm you down, you know, so you're not worrying, you know, about like all the things that you're trying to do. You just give your brain a reset. So you know that next week, you know, I'm starting from a fresh page, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go again. And last but not least, man's been talking for time. Whew, let me catch a breath. You know what I'm saying? Last but not least, like what we touched upon previous as well, inputs and outputs. That's been really important for me as well, like dealing with my mental health and whatever, like I've been trying to go through and get past. You know, like I said before, it all starts from the inside out. You need to fix yourself first. You know what I'm saying? How you feel, how you see things, how you react to things. And then also your output, what you speak upon your life is mad important. Do you know what I'm saying? The power of your tongue. You know what I'm saying? What you do, like in terms of like little things, that's showing kindness to people, showing love to people. Do you know what I'm saying? It is mad important in how that builds you, even mentally. You think like it doesn't affect you mentally, but it makes you feel good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you're kind to people, when you're loving to people, do you know what I'm saying? You then also get the love back, and you know, man, like it makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that in terms of outputs, and like just with inputs as well. How you surround yourself, what you let into your mind, what you let affect you. Because the subconscious is a silent killer, you know. Yeah. The subconscious is a silent killer, bruv, and that's what I didn't know before. And when I came to realizing that, it was just trying to have control of what you take in subconsciously. Do you know what I mean? Like you were saying before, like sometimes you drive without music because you don't know how that music will affect you subconsciously. Like bruv, you're just driving around thinking, yeah, it's a minor, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Just driving, vibing.
What you're saying. Do you know the overwhelming feeling? Yeah. I get that a lot because my brain plans a lot of things. So when I listen to music, I clocked that it makes it more intense. But yeah, I'll let you carry on.
But like, did you clock that straight away? No. Or is it something that you took time to think like, yo, subconsciously, I just thought I was listening to music. But really and truly now, I really look at it subconsciously like, yo, it's making the overthinking a lot worse.
It was by accident. One day I just wasn't listening to music. I had a plan of things I need to do, got home, got them done. And then other days I have things to do, listening to music, jamming to it. Obviously that you do. I get home and it's like I feel like, oh, I want to do this or do this, speak to this, like the focus.
And that's my point. It was killing you silently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yo, I can go on for days and days, but I'm not the only one hearing it. But that's just some of my layers, because you know some of the tools that I use.
What you want me to go next, bro? So basically, I ain't even gonna cap. Like, I've been through shit, and it's stuff that mostly I've brought to myself because of some decisions I've made here and there and whatever. And there's some stuff that are just natural in it. You get what I mean? Like, I've hard days, bro. Like, I don't know. You must remember, like, when I came to you, bro. It's something that happened. Not gonna talk about it deeply, but it got me going like crazy wild, bro. Like wild. When I say wild, you look at me now, you might think, oh, I'm wild, but I was wild. Like drugs, drinking, whatever, done that. And it wasn't like, it wasn't good for me. Like it's something that I did that not only hurt me, but hurt my family, hurt other people involved and stuff like that. And it got me going crazy. And the only thing that helped, it was like me getting off the floor and actually like being like, it's about time, like stop like feeling sorry for yourself, like I know like it can be hard to actually see that this whole depression thing, like I said before, it's not something you can do by yourself, but it also takes your decision. You get what I mean? It's like, it's about you looking at it and saying, well, yeah, I am depressed. Accept it, because there's nothing else. Yes, you are depressed, but now, like, I think it was you saying it, or you, like, now what can I do? You get what I mean? And first thing I would say, like, getting out, because a lot of depressed people, or a lot with people with mental health, what they do is just stay in the same place, same four walls. Like you said, get out, literally get out of that place, because
Yeah, so what do you do?
yeah, that's what I'm getting to it. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But like, it's like personally, I go out. You get what I mean? Not go out like just to go out. I'll just get out of the place, because I've found that once I stay in one place, like in one room, I tend to overthink, and I tend to think about things that I don't have control over. So I just go out, surround myself with the right people. Like when I was going through whatever I went through, I met people that actually changed my whole life. You get what I mean? Like changed me as a person, got me thinking better. So like I think be aware of the people you have around you, because that's what I do. I'm just aware of everyone I have around me, and I learn them inside out. Because once I learn them, I know how are they going to help my depression, how are they going to help my mental health. Because if it's someone that's going to add stress to stress, you don't need them in your life at the end of the day. You get what I mean? So obviously focusing on the people you have around you, getting out that place, like your comfort zone, just get out of it and go do something new, to help you take your mind off it. And actually, like you guys say, you guys do gym and whatever, but with me, like when I'm stressed, any day I'm stressed, you'll catch me playing basketball. Like that's just cause as soon as I get the ball and get my basketball shoes on, bro, I don't care, bro. I don't care if like it's the biggest deal. I don't care if the doctor said I'm dying tomorrow. If I step on that court, it's whatever. You get what I mean? It's whatever. Like sports and like exercising completely helps. It just like it's something that has helped me through the most things, bro. Like I'm thankful, and I discovered the sport thanks to man like Kobe, obviously. Like you get what I mean? But yeah, bro, that's literally all I do, bro. Like obviously get out of the house, be aware of the people I have around me, and then exercise. Nothing like crazy, like, I don't write it down, to be honest. I was learning what he was saying. It was like, write things down. You get what I mean? I was literally learning, because I don't write, like when I'm stressing, bro, or got things going in my mind, I don't write it down, bro. You get what I mean?
I just learn a few things of you, and I hope whoever is watching is doing the same.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, money on the map.
So
161.
the way I started, well, I was feeling down and out. It was, I'll say, 5 years ago through uni as well. It was basically, bro, it was overthinking.
It's an extreme sport.
It was me like, what if I finish all this uni studies? will I make it? Will I be? Yeah, we came in this country over here. For me, I was thinking, I came in this country for a reason. I have got to make it, man.
Bro.
You know, I'm looking at my parents here. They are grafted for me to be here. Pressure. The only kid who's gonna finish uni is me. Pressure. So I'm like, I mean, my walls. Yeah, there's nothing else. It's hard in this industry as well with Corona hitting. I'm thinking, what to do? I'm feeling down, and the worst, I was kept overthinking to a point like a little bad habit started. Eating late, I couldn't go sleep, so I just ate and just listened to music. Stupid. Yeah, I was working, but it just kept on bad habits. Days turns to weeks, months, year.
Bro,
So
don't
it's
get
just
started.
like,
Don't get started.
and then I kept keeping it in. I didn't talk. Anyone else was like, "You good? Yeah, I'm sweet, man." But my mind was racing. Yeah, and then I'm like, okay. My mom was asking me, "Is everything okay?" Yeah, it's fine. No one would know. But it's like, how can I get out of this bubble? So one thing, I think, yeah, one day, one good friend of mine was saying, "Yo, just talk to someone. Let it out. You have to do it." It's the one thing I hated is to talk about myself. It's the biggest barrier I've ever encountered. But someone forced me, poked, to a point that I was so close to beating this guy up. I'm like, why are you asking shit about me, man? I'm good. But the reason why he did it is to find for me. I opened up to a point like I felt so emotional, but I started crying. But I said thank you because he was like, he cleansed me. So everything after that. But he told me, what else do I do? So I asked him, like, what else do you normally do? What do you enjoy? He said, yeah, I like gym. I said, okay, do you still do it? I said, yeah, I still do it. So I'm like, just keep doing it. But what is your biggest motivator? He asked me. It's like, I always looked at Dwayne Rock Johnson. Because he's like, I want to get this level. You get me? But it's like, okay. So I told him, like, yo, he asked me, look in the mirror. And then it's like, okay.
Get in there.
You're already there. It's like, trust me, you're already there. So it's all right. Since then, I've always just to say, be the best your version you can be, and then come back to me after that. Since then, I've always like, okay, I couldn't do legs. I was weak. Did legs. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, 60, 10 to 8, 80, 120. All right, we're getting somewhere.
Now I was lifting
Two
households.
shoulders. I did shoulders. 20, 40. Okay, I tore my shoulder, but are you gonna stop? No, we keep going. Tore my wrist. Okay. So for me, I found peace through obviously physical, but actually the main thing was more than just strength. It was actually communication. Someone told me, speak your mind. If something's bothering you, just talk. Even talk to, even if it's an empty, just talk, and then take a breath, and then really reflect it back.
God.
So that's why I'm like, oh, they helped me.
My friend, you've had to.
So, like, till today, I'll probably say to everyone out there, even if it's keeping you, like, if you're bottled to a point, like, you find it hard to get it out.
Try.
Just try your very
Try.
best.
You
Get out.
want to add whatever you said, or
I want,
Well, yes,
yeah,
yes.
I want to, but
Go on.
no, wait. Nah, it's literally, it came into my mind because it's something. Well, I think most of us here probably do it, and it's something we've been raised doing, and it's just cautious.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like with me, I've noticed, like, I pray. You get what I mean? I thank God, and I'm saying whoever believes, and that's what they do. But bro, like, I can tell you, praying helps, bro. You get what I mean? Praying helps, bro. And you won't mention it because it's something you do normally. You get what I mean? It's not like it's something that came to you and you were like, oh, I figured it out. This is gonna help my mental health. But it actually helps. You get what I mean?
yeah, Phil.
No, I'm
Yeah, so for me, yeah, it's a lot. So from there's a lot, man. There was a point where I was in uni. I left uni.
And again.
I have to start there because we've all mentioned it. But so with leaving uni, like after that, I would say that's probably when I went through the worst depression. You mentioned you need to get out of the four walls thing. I would be in four walls. At that time, I remember I found a series called Dexter. I watched 4 seasons in like a week. Like it was like bad. Like I would wake up. My day would be wake up, put it on Netflix, just lie there, and then when it's like, are you still watching? Click yes. Like get to the point. Like I'll be watching like the whole thing, but because I've not touched anything, it will be like. And this went on and on and on, and then I remember like one of my parents was like, "Oh, you're always doing this. You're not gonna do anything." And I remember I went like my mum. What did she say? She's like, "You're gonna get like if you stay like this, the only job you'll be able to get is like a factory job, whatnot." And I said, "Oh no, mum, it's fine. I'm probably gonna find a job at some clothing store." And the moment that she kind of told me that, no, you think it's that easy in this country? It's not that easy. It's like something ticked inside me because I feel like I've always been the person who likes to prove people wrong. So when that happened, it kind of snapped me out of it because I felt like I now had a purpose. My purpose was to show that I can go from this, and me going from this, I'm not just gonna go to do what everyone else would do. I'm gonna find something. Well, I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. And I remember, literally the next day, I lived in Middleton. I went out and I just walked to every shop. Like no, so I walked to this place where it's like you could go on computers, write these and whatnot. Like like no, not a library. It was like a job place, but it wasn't a job center. Yeah, it's weird. That's what I'm calling.
I know what citizens. Is it citizens advice?
Yeah, something like that. But then like
citizens
computers.
Advice, bro.
I went in there. I wrote my CV in like an hour and a half. Like when my mind is set to something, I wrote it, printed like I think it was like 20 copies. Went to loads of shops, just giving CVs. And in my head, I was like, well, I tried, maybe it's not gonna happen. Then I remember that one of my friends, it was their birthday. It was the first time I'd gone out in ages because I was refusing to go out. Woke up the next day, like, phone call, boom. Did you hand in a CV? Yep. Went there, spoke to the lady, and she phoned me back like as soon as I got home. She's like, yeah, you can start on Monday. And in my head, this is like a clothes shop as well. And in my head, I'm thinking,
I told you. It's not that easy, Abby.
But this is the thing. It's like, in terms of coming out of depression, what I learned to realize is finding a passion is gonna help you out of that. And then once you find that passion, try to find a way you can maybe involve yourself in more things that you enjoy doing, and things will consistently go well. And the writing thing down that Luke mentioned, this is something that, to be fair, now I don't do it as much. I'm only just starting again now, but doing it back then would help me kind of like set mini goals, start. Like for example, the gym, I remember that was roughly around the first time I started gym properly after I came out of uni. And it was something that just, kept me going, kept me motivated. And then going from that time, because I would say my baby phase of learning how to deal with difficult times. Now, after like 5 or 6 years, I would say I've now learned that the most important thing to think about, firstly, is to make a plan, see what your goals are, what you want to do, write down, have a plan. And once you know what your goals are, what your plan is, the actions you have to do, forget about the past because it's happened. Forget about the future because it's not happened yet, and focus on the present. The present is called the present because it's a gift. And when you focus on the now, instantly stress is taken away from trying to think ahead. Stress is taken away from trying to think about the past because you've already got your plan sorted. You're just all worried about is the action. Just every day, just act. Every day, just act accordingly to the plan you've done, and you start to notice that things will start to fall in place. And then when you add writing down your goals, the most depressed person, if they do these things, they'll start to realize that slowly you're coming out of it. You're coming out of it. And then like a butterfly, before it becomes a butterfly, like after a little bit of time, well, after some time, you come out of the cocoon and boom, you start shining. When you start shining, other people start telling you, but then if you stop and you think back, you're like, it wasn't easy. But it's like anything, you have to take your mind to a place where it forgets that it's doing something hard. Because if your mind is thinking that it's doing something hard, it's going to kick in survival instincts and try to protect you and try to make you do nothing. So if you slowly just find things you enjoy, slowly find a way to make a plan. Like with the gym, you'll be like, slowly, okay, go in one day, okay, I like this exercise, I'll do more of this exercise. Then it went from, I like doing this exercise to, what's actually effective? Oh, what are these guys training? What are these guys saying? Oh, it works. And before you know it, time. And you're like, okay, my lifts that you're saying have gone up, I'm feeling good. But yeah, pretty much plan, have a purpose. Not even, the purpose is not going to be easy, but make sure you set a plan for, it could be, I don't want to be depressed anymore. And you make sure you write down what actions you need to do to get there. And then every day, just think about the present, the present, the present. Don't think about the future, otherwise overthinking kicks in, which is something I struggled with a lot. Even every now and again, it comes back. I have to be like, okay, this is the plan, stick to act. And then, yeah, eventually, if you're depressed, you come out of it, and you never know, you surprise yourself at the end of it. But yeah, that's me.
Something to chase.
Oh, my turn.
Your turn.
To be honest, like
Who's next? Sorry.
I don't think I've been depressed because I've always tried to avoid it, but I've been overwhelmed so many times by so many things that's happening in my life.
Wait, what's your definition of depression?
Well, definition of depression is just like,
No, for you.
for me,
Depressed.
I kind of feel like having so many to do things that you don't know where to start from, and you just get to a point where you feel like, you know what, I kind of feel like my life is not moving in any directions. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like, you know, I don't know
Stuck.
what to do.
Being depression would be just feeling stuck.
Yeah,
Like,
basically I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what to do.
So
That's
you've-
how I class that depression.
so you'd say you've not felt that
No,
mad. But
I
yeah,
haven't.
go.
I haven't felt like I'm in a situation where I'm stuck that I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? But I've been in the situations where I've felt overwhelmed of so many things that I have to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I felt like, you know what, I just want to drive someone on top of the hill and just scream. You know what I mean? Just scream
I used to
very
do
loud.
that. I used to
That's
do that in
movie
college,
stuff.
Huh?
Movie.
Nah, bro. I've never
you.
done it. It's like a feeling I felt. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like I want to scream, but if I scream around here,
And your
then
mom
people
will.
Well, college
People
didn't
run.
college would be finished. I'd be there in my
Do you know
own.
what I mean?
It's like, it was quick scream.
Yeah,
Yo.
people
That's
will
a
run
man.
because I feel like the scream are having me, like I need to really let it out. You know what I'm saying? But then it gets to a point where I feel like, you know what? Let me see. I can sort this out. I can sort that out. I can sort that out. I can't do this. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I start selecting things that I can do. You know what I mean? And then from selecting things that I can do, then I select which is hard, which is easy. You know what I'm saying? And then I started from there. And then things that I cannot do, obviously, as he said, you need to put God first. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I have to pray and then make sure like I ask God to just guide me. You know what I mean? Show me direction, because obviously purpose in this life is your direction. Do you know what I mean? To wherever you want to go. And I believe like everyone believes in something. I believe in God. You know what I'm saying? And I get my direction from God. You know what I'm saying? Like, do certain stuff, certain ways. Do you know what I'm saying? To just get where you want to go. And from me doing that, it just helped me to just calm me down. Do you know what I mean? It just calms me down to a point where I feel like, you know what, it's not really that bad, you know. I can manage, you know. But then another point where I feel like I don't know, it was more like a panic attack. Do you know what I mean? I was listening to this book, and it got to a point where it really related to me so much, to the point where I felt like there's something's missing. You know what I mean? There's something the dots are not connecting. You know?
The sense is not sensing.
Yeah, the sense is not sensing, and to that point, I just felt something just went right, and I was working, and I had to stop for like 10 minutes, pauses a little bit, and guess what? He told me, like,
That would happen.
it would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he read the whole book, and then when he finished it, and he was like, "Bro, are you still reading the book?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "As soon as you get to the end, somewhere to the end, there's
gonna hit
there's
home.
a part where it's gonna really relate it to you because of the things that you've told me." Do you know what I mean? And for me, I kept thinking about that. Kept thinking about what he said, and as I'm listening to the book, it's as like thinking like, when is this gonna come? You know what I'm saying? And then from there, boom, I had to pause everything, and no one really noticed. Do you know what I mean? I was tearing up, and I thought, you know what, like, I was thinking in the past, you know, and I just realized, you know, I've got so many things going on in my present. Do you know what I mean? And my future is brighter, you know. So let me just leave that, and then just keep on focusing on my present and my
Future.
You know what I'm saying? But really and truly, like, depression, I've not been there yet.
And you
No,
won't
yeah,
be.
you don't
Don't
wanna
say
be.
yet, my guy.
You don't wanna
get
be.
there. And you won't be.
Yeah, because one thing is, like, I believe everything happened for a reason, right? And I've always put my brain into a mode where I feel like if it's something that I can control, I'm gonna do and control it. If something I cannot control, I'm not even gonna stress about it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I've always driven my life, to the point where I feel like something that's way bigger than me, I just let it be, you know? Because if it doesn't kill me,
It makes
Makes you stronger. Justin Bieber said it.
Bro,
Yeah,
just
that's-
repeat that line you said. Everything
Happens for a reason.
everything happens for a reason.
that if there's a takeaway,
That's
that's the
everything happens
biggest
for a reason,
takeaway.
And
Everything happens
if
for
there's
a reason.
anything, if it's something that doesn't kill you, it can only make you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to
That's
add
it,
that.
really.
From what you guys have said, yo, trust me, it's a lot. I've learned a lot, bro, and I hope you guys have as well. And I just wanted to add one more thing. Just stay in touch with your emotions. It's okay to feel. Do you know what I'm saying? Stay in touch with your emotions and don't run away from them, because like running away from them. Yeah, exactly. They will take you to your true self, and running away from them will just dig a hole for you. And the more you run, the bigger hole you dig.
And also, I forgot to mention one thing is me speaking to me. You know what I mean? I do that thing a lot.
There's a name for
People
that.
say it's crazy.
Self-taught.
It's not.
No, it's not.
I don't do it in public or whatever. No.
In the car.
No, not even in the car, bro.
I do it in the
In the
car.
I do it in public. I'll be in the gym by
I will
myself.
in
I'll
the
be like,
shower.
come on, Phil.
I would
People
do it
are
in the
hurt,
shower.
and I'm like, yeah. That's I no lie. Like I'll do some exercise, and I'm like, okay, I'm struggling, but I've got 10 more reps to go. Then I'll be like, no, like come on, like, and then I realize, oh shit, that was loud. Then I'm like, I don't care. I'm good.
Yes,
Self-talk,
honestly, like,
is underrated. You guys are gonna think I'm insane, but what I used to do, self-talk, when I was trying to get out of the dumps a bit, bro, I'd put in an earphones that would turn off, and I just have conversation with myself out loud. Just walking around in public.
I can see
Therapy,
that.
bro. I'm my best friend, you get me?
Yeah,
I can see
conversation.
that.
Call the ambulance.
But like,
Here gone.
So you're not talking to Luke, you're talking to Muzungu right now, bro.
They say
No, but I
like,
feel you, bro. It helps.
they say
Like-
like if you'd rather like fight the world
Then fight yourself.
with you fighting the world instead of you fighting you plus the world.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mama nangai.
So basically, like, I try to prove
And I
myself.
remember the saying. That's what I was saying. I remember what.
Yeah,
Gone.
like I have to fight me first. Do you know what I mean?
Be at peace
So,
with yourself.
Yeah, I have to fight me first to the point where
Mm.
before I go out to the world.
Inside out.
You know, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Outside in.
Eat.
Wow. You know what? Damn.
Warm in here. Outro, man. Come on.
Nah,
So-
come on, man.
Oh, anyone else? Anything?
Nah, I just want to say like,
We all good?
Yeah, I mean,
we've given you a lot of information.
yeah,
What's
we
in
hope,
there?
like, cause I've learned a lot.
Same.
Same.
Personally, I've learned a lot today from all these guys, and I've heard so many things that I've never heard from them.
Mm-hmm.
I keep that to myself though, but I wish like all of y'all can pick certain stuff, few things from here and there. You know what I mean, and keep supporting us, you know, and you know, yeah.
Yeah, guys, today we've gone over the topic of mental health, but I'd say we've gone over it briefly. I'd say we've scraped the surface. There's a lot more in depth that we can go into, obviously with our own experiences and just over the topic of mental health as a whole. But we've gone over it today, and obviously everything we've said, we hope that there's pieces that you guys can take from it. Like I said before, we're not therapists or anything of the sort, but a quick disclaimer, these are just things that helped us, and hopefully you guys can pick things out that can help you. A few things I want to say, maybe one or two things. First thing is that there's only one you out there. When you play a game and there's NPCs about and the NPCs chat to you, you're a bit more respectful, but in the games you're like, get out my face, do you know who I am? I'm this person. And in a way, we've got to take that out into real life, and with all due respect to these people, not giving a fuck about these people, because there's only one you. You should always be yourself. The way you mess about in your house when you're on your own, you should just be like that, just whenever you want, because that's yourself. And not only that, it'll save you time from the time wasters and the people that use you. If you're yourself and they don't like you for yourself, as opposed to someone who you're trying to be. So for you guys out there, be yourself. We've got to do a big shout out to Sam behind the camera as well. Big shout out to Sam for doing all this. He does a lot more work than you guys think. But yeah, we're good people to talk to. If ever you guys are feeling down or anything, please feel free to drop us a DM or anything. Yo guys, make sure you don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and share. Put it in your family group chat. And yeah, this is the In The Cut podcast. We've kept you in the cut with our views towards the matrix of life. Stay blessed.
Peace.
Peace.